You're listening to the Live Free podcast. I'm your host, Christine, certified life coach, pain to power mentor, and creator of Embody You Mindset Mastery School. I'm here today to discuss living life after disease, disaster, or adversity, to discuss living life fully once again, a life of hope, peace, and resiliency, a life fully embodied. I utilize the lessons that I learned going through not one, but two primary cancers. I'm here today to guide you to the life of your dreams, turn your pain into power, and lead you back to yourself. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Live Free podcast. Today I want to talk about obligation. I want to talk about the list, all the things that we have to do. And so how I want to break this down is some of the things that we need to do, we don't really need to do. Some of the things we need to do, and some of the things that we need to do, we only do because we can. So, in your day-to-day, you have all of the responsibilities, and then you have events, and then you have time with friends, and then you have family obligations and all kinds of stuff. And sometimes something kind of sneaks through, and it's something that you cannot wait to do. You know, maybe it's a pedicure with a good friend. Maybe it's hanging out with that one friend who just really just gives you that feeling of wholeness, of happiness. You can't wait to see them. Maybe it's a dinner date with your husband and you can't wait to get all dressed up and go somewhere. But then you've got other obligations to see a different friend, one that kind of makes you feel like you're leaking your energy a bit. Or maybe you have to meet up with a coworker because you said you would. And she said at one point, hey, we should really have coffee. And then you said, yeah, sure, let's do it. So you went ahead and now you've kind of got this Thursday date and you're like, ooh, yeah, I gotta make sure I'm nice and rested for that because I'm tired and this person doesn't fill my cup. So I want you to begin to break down all of the things that you have in your life. We have the things that we definitely want to do, the things that we kind of want to do, and then the things that we have to do. And then there's another section to further that is things that we do because there's a few minutes in between, so we should do it. Okay? So I invite you to ask yourself the question, is this something I need to do? Is this something I should do? Or is this something I want to do? Because oftentimes we're filling our schedule because we as women are taught that we need to be everything for everybody. So we fill and we fill and we fill and we become completely exhausted and depleted. And when people ask us, why are you so busy? Or what's going on that you're so busy? And we just say, well, that's just the way it is for me. I'm always busy. No matter what I do, I'm always busy. I try so hard to empty out my schedule. I'm so exhausted and I'm always busy. But if you could begin to ask yourself the question, is this something that I need to do? Is this something I feel I should do? Or is this something I actually want to do? if you looked at your schedule, things would change. Now, of course, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do the things you need to do, because we need to do them. Paying your taxes, going to work, wow, that one's debatable. Paying your taxes, you need to do that. You get in a lot of trouble if you don't do that. But, I mean, let's even dig into work. If you hate it, that is something that is in your power to change. Is it easy? No. Is it possible? Yes. So some of these needs that we think are needs are not, needs are not actually needs. They're feelings of shoulds. I should have this stable job, which is a fallacy. There's no such thing as stable. I should have this stable job because it's the right thing to do. Well, in a perfect world, what would you do if you wanted to do it? And could you consider the possibility of changing the thing that you feel you should do into something you want to do? When someone asks you to go for coffee, then you're not particularly big on that person doesn't fill your cup. Do you need to do that? Could you choose not to? Could you say that you have a busy schedule? Could you say that you just don't have time and space for that right now? Could you say, let me get back to you on that? And then think of a proper reason why it doesn't make sense. And then let them know with plenty of time. How can you be integral to yourself for what you don't want to do? Because your schedule gets so full, so long, and time is finite. It is also valuable. Our time is valuable to us. And it's so finite. So when you are creating your days, your weeks, and your months, ask yourself those questions. I think about the pandemic and how so many of us, myself included, felt kind of relieved in a lot of ways to not have such a full schedule all the time. And then, I don't know about you, but as I came out of the pandemic, I vowed, and I said to my husband, I'm not going to have as full of a schedule as I used to have. I'm not going to pack it full, doing everything for everybody. And now, that definitely did not happen at first. I packed it full, doing everything for everybody. Do I sometimes still do that? Absolutely. But I realized after a few months of packing it full post-lockdown that I wasn't happy anymore. I was happier when I had a lighter schedule, when I had a smaller bubble. And so that is authentic to me. It's authentic to me to not have all of those little coffee dates with the people that don't fill my cup. It's authentic to me to be with very specific people that I feel fully embodied with, people that I want to be let into my so-called bubble. So I invite you with your days, no matter what it is. Maybe it's a sport or something that your children are in right now. Do they really love it? Or are you just putting them in it because they should be in sports? Right? If they don't love it, why are you both filling your schedule? So begin to ask yourself these questions. How can you start to make more time and space in your schedule? And maybe you're not like me. Maybe you don't need downtime, or maybe you don't need specific people that really fill your cup. Maybe you're a socialite, social butterfly, and you want to be around everybody. Well, wouldn't it be more fun if you were around the people that really made you feel good? Wouldn't it be more fun if you didn't fill that void, that 10-minute slot, that 1-day slot with the things that you really don't like, but you're doing them because you grew up that way, or it's the polite thing to do, or you saw your parents do it, volunteering for this, that, and the other thing. If you don't have passion in that volunteering, don't do it. If it doesn't light your soul to be part of that experience, don't do it. There's such a small amount of time in our days for all of the things that we want. And we're filling our schedules to the brim with all the things that we sort of want to do, or that we think we should do, and very little with what we want to do. And then we have no time for the things that will create space for us, like self-care, like mindset, like reading a good book that will create a calm nervous system for you, or taking a course with Live Free, because it will change so much for you. But you don't take the time for it because you're doing all of these things that you should do or that you feel you need to do. And I can illustrate this with a story. So every year, I used to take my winter clothing out of the closet, put it in a bin downstairs, and put all of my summer type things into my closet. And then when there was a switch of seasons, I would do the opposite. I would put all the summer stuff away and I would put all the winter stuff into the closet. And I've been doing this for 32 years at the time. Well, I mean, obviously not when I was a kid. My parents did that, but I was at 32 years old and still doing it. And the one day I'm just about to empty the closet and I was kind of tired and thinking to myself, oh man, I wish I didn't have to do this task. Then I realized I have a huge closet. I have a very big closet. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever for me to be putting these items into a bin and taking them downstairs, because downstairs is actually kind of full. The closet is big. But that's because of this should do. So you see, it is this belief that I should do it. And the reason I believed I should do it is because I saw my mother doing it when I was a kid. Now looking back on it, she probably did it because she had a small closet. I don't. I have a large closet. I have a lot of space. So where else in your life do you have a large closet that you are emptying, that you are filling for no reason at all, other than it's just habitual for you? I invite you to realize the closet is big and that there is lots of space for you to fill the things that you want in. You do not have to do everything. You can choose to have more peace in your day. You can choose to have more events that you can't wait to do. That when you think of that task in your schedule, that you light up, that you're excited to go and do that thing. And so I think I'll leave you there. I want you to start to question your week, your day, your afternoon. Start to question, what are the things that you are doing out of pure habituality? And what are the things that you actually want? So need to, should do, and want. Let's lean you into the want. All my love. We'll talk soon. Thank you so much for listening. If you found expansion with this last episode, then that means that others will too. And the best way to get the word out about the podcast is by leaving a review. I would be so grateful if you could leave me a review and let me know how you felt about the podcast. Included in the show notes will be everything that we talked about today, including all of my transformative programs. Change is just on the horizon, my friend.